began her great venture. Man, earth gazes while her fingers dint the breast which is his well of strength, his home of rest, and fair to scan. I am more aid than that embrace, that nourishment, she cannot give. His heart involves his fate, and she who urged the start abides the race. For he is in the lists contentious with the elements, whose dower first sprang him, for swift vultures to devour if he desists. His breath of instant thirst is warning of a creature matched with strife, to meet it as a bride, or let fall life on life's accursed. No longer forth he bounds the lusty animal, afield to roam, but peering in earth's entrails, where the gnome's strange themes propounds. Be hunger sharply sped to grasp at weapons ere he learns their use. In each new ring he bears a giant's thews, an infant's head. On ever that old task of reading what he is and whence he came, whither to go, finds wilder letters flame across her mask. Hears his wailful prayer, when now to the invisible he raves to rend him from her, now of his mother craves her calm, her care. The thing that shudders most within him is the burden of his cry, scene of his dread. She is to his blank eye the eyeless ghosts, or sometimes she will seem heavenly, but her blush, soon wearing white, veils like a gorsebush in a web of blight. With gold buds dim once worshipped prime of powers, she still was the implacable. As a beast, she struck him down and dragged him from the feast she crowned with flowers. Pomp of glorious hues, her revelries of ripeness, her kind smile, her songs, her peeping faces, lure a while with simple clues. Mystery she holds for him, inveterately he strains to see, and sight of his obtuseness is the key. Among those folds he may entreat, aspire, he may despair, and she has never heed. She drinking his warm sweat will soothe his need, not his desire. She prompts him to rejoice, yet scares him on the threshold with the shroud he deems her cherishing of her best endowed. A wanton's choice, albeit thereof he has found firm roadway between lustfulness and pain, has half transferred the battle to his brain, from bloody ground, as will not read her good, or wise, but with the passion self-obscures, through that old devil of the thousand lures, through the dense hoods through terror, through distrust, the greed to touch, to view, to have, to live, through all that makes of him a sensitive abhorring dust. Behold his wormy home, and he the wind whipped, any with a wave crazily tumbled on a shingle grave to waste and foam. Therefore the rich inclined afresh to the invisible, who, he saith, can raise him high, with vows of living faith for little signs. Some signs he must demand, some proofs of slaughtered nature, some prized few, to satisfy the senses. It is true, and in his hand, Zkshithi's miracle which saves himself doth from extinction clutch, by virtue of his worth, contrasting much with brutes and knaves. From dust, of him abhorred, he would be snatched by grace, discovering worth. Sever me from the hollowness of earth. Me take, dear Lord. Zksivsh hears him. Him she owes for half her loveliness, a love well won by work that lights the shapeless and the done. Their common foes Xv builds the soaring spires, that sing his soul in stone. Of her he draws, though blind to her, by spelling it her laws. Her purest fires Xv through him hath she exchanged, for the gold harvest robes, the mural crown, her haggard quarry features and thick frown where monsters ranged. Xv on order, high discourse, and decency, than which is life less dear, she has of him, the lyre of language clear, love's tongue and source. Xv hears him, and can hear with glory in his gains by work achieved with grief for grief that is the unperceived in her own ears. Xv aloft for aid imploring storms, her essence is the spur, his cry to heaven is a cry to her he would evade. Not elsewhere can he tend, those are her rules which bid him wash foul sins, those her revulsions from the skull that grins to ape his ends. Xion her desires are those for happiness, for lastingness, for light. 'Tis she who kindles in his haunting night the hoped dawn rose. Xia fair fountains of the dark daily she waves him, that his inner dream may clasp amid the glooms a springing beam, a quivering lark. Xia these life and had to know for spirit, with awakenedness of glee to feel stern joy her origin, not he the child of woe. Xv but that the senses still usurp the station of their issue mind, he would have burst the chrysalis of the blind. As yet he will, Xv as yet he will, she prays, yet will when his distempered devil of self, the glutton for her fruits, the wily elf in shifting rays, Xvitat captain of the scorned, the coveter of life in soul and shell, the fratricide, the thief, the infidel, the hoofed and horned, Xv singularly doomed to what he execrates and writhes to shun. When fire has passed him vapor to the sun, and sun relumed, Xv then shall the horrid pall be lifted, and a spirit nigh divine, live and thy offspring as I live in mine, will hear her calls. Whence looks he on a land whereon his labour is a carven page, and forth from heritage to heritage nor trit on sand. Excel his fables of the above, and his gapped readings of the crown and sword, the hell detested and the heaven adored, the hate, the love, the lithe bright wing, the black hoof, he shall peruse, from reason not disjoined, and never unfaith clamouring to be coined to faith by proofs Leish her just Lord may view, not he, her creature, till his soul has yearned with all her gifts to reach the light discerned her spirit through Leviathan in him time shall run as in the hour that to young sunlight crows, and if thou hast good faith it can repose. She tells her sons live meanwhile on him, her chief expression, her great word of life, looks she, to be minded of him, as the waxing tree, or dated leaf,